Boxing Opinions 100. Hit that subscribe button. I'm going to briefly explain my version of why Deontay Wilder lost the Trilogy fight. First, I'm going to start off with a video that I made previously stating that bulking up would hurt Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's strength was being light on his feet, his mobility, his quickness. He took all these things away from himself. And furthermore, this trainer, Malik Scott, should accept or take partially the blame of this. Wilder not bulked up, but put on weight for the second fight. That really harmed him. So if you look at fight by fight, and when he was at his best, is the first fight. The first fight, even though Tyson Fury is so much bigger than him, and all Tyson Fury has to do is is put his weight up on Deontay Wilder and make him feel the weight. So Deontay Wilder, bench pressing, 350 pounds, wasn't going to prove anything. How many times can you bench 300 to 350 pounds if you're just picking up reps off? So you can't, unless you're some super strong human being, but I mean, you can bench press this. If you can bench press 300 to 350 pounds 10 times, you strong as an ox. But just bench pressing it, period, you're strong. So this is like Deontay Wilder having to bench press Tyson Fury the whole fight. And then why I brought Malik Scott into the conversation is that Malik Scott should have known that a boxer bulking up, a boxer has to be loose and limber. He has to be able to get his punches off. There have been very few people able to get away with this in the sport of boxing. You train with weights, but you don't train with weights to get bigger. Like Evander Holyfield trained, but if you look at Holyfield put on weight gradually over a wide spread of time. I think Holyfield's first heavyweight fight, he was about 202, 205. And then at his heaviest, I would say he's about 230 something, or that. Like Mike Tyson, when Mike Tyson was 218 and 220, he was vicious. But Malik Scott should have known, so this shows you how much Malik Scott knows as a trainer. And then, I don't know how true this is, I've stated this before, that I don't know if Mark Breland, somebody said about the way Deontay Wilder trains. If he doesn't train on the speed bag, I know that for sure. So the speed bag is timing. So even though he's been able to get away with these without doing these things and, develop his own thing through the years, you have to take your hat off to Deontay regardless. But we're getting back on what's at hand of why my reasons why I think he lost this fight. But I don't think that even if he didn't do any of these things, I don't think he could have beat Tyson Fury. But giving himself a better chance to me is we need like the Deontay Wilder that fought Dominique Brazil, or Belize. Him, when the way he knocked him out, that's the light on your feet, fast striking like a cobra Deontay Wilder. The Deontay Wilder that knocked out Berman Stavern. That striking Deontay Wilder. It's the way Deontay Wilder beat Luis Ortiz. He was loose, he was limber. These are things that he had going on for himself. So Deontay Wilder, when Deontay Wilder in the Trilogy, when Deontay Wilder threw the first punch to the jab of Tyson Fury's stomach, I said to myself right then and there, I said, there's no way in the world he's going to be able to beat Tyson Fury. He took away, he was just slow. He wasn't super slow, but he wasn't himself. So that bulking up really took away from Deontay Wilder's strengths. And it seems like his, I guess his equilibrium was knocked off easily again, but that wasn't, he just, the way his balance is, he hasn't been trained on balance, like the way to move your feet when you're moving. So he's always, to me, looking like he's rocking around unbalanced. So that's another thing that, when somebody are themselves and they've done certain things for so long, you know, like I had stated previously, that once the punches start coming at you and you are you, so what you train for is out of the window at that moment because you have to fight. So when you're fighting, unless you've been doing these things naturally for years or, you know, for a period of time, then you would do them naturally. What Tyson Fury is doing is natural. Some people can just do that. Tyson Fury is for a 6'9" man, could hit you close up. Like some men can't even bend their arm in that position. Tyson Fury will hit you face to face with you and still get an uppercut off. So if you look at the punches he would hit Deontay Wilder with. But I've seen Deontay Wilder try to throw some body punches, and it just didn't look like him. It just, you know, he hadn't done these things before, so it looked out of character. But by the time he was trying to land the body shots, Tyson Fury had took so much steam away from him, like took the steam off the punches. That's what Fury did to him. And then once Fury took the steam away from Deontay Wilder, he started to stand right in front of him. You know, even when Wilder hit Tyson Fury, it was one knockdown. You have to watch the knockdown in slow motion. Deontay Wilder like hit Tyson Fury on top of the head and then pulled him down, pulled him down. But he hit him at the same time too. But I don't think the punch. But I don't know. I'm not Tyson Fury, but it looked like he was bothered. But to me, it seemed like a punch like that wouldn't affect you because it didn't really have no speed on it. Deontay Wilder's power was his speed. He didn't need no weight to have power. His power came from his speed. So Malik Scott was supposed to tell him that. So if Deontay Wilder was the loose Deontay Wilder of old, he could have struck Tyson Fury like with a 1-2 much quicker. He would have been able to get closer to Tyson Fury much quicker. But like I said, even though if he was the regular Deontay Wilder, I just think when it comes to boxing and skill, Tyson Fury has a better skill level, a better boxing IQ than Deontay Wilder. So Deontay Wilder has the power factor. You know, Tyson Fury hits you with an accumulation of punches. Just the fact that the natural size of Tyson Fury, like Tyson Fury doesn't have to be powerful. Just because he's big, all he got to do is touch you, hit you, you're going to feel it. So just the accumulation of punches, that's what beats you up. But since he's been working with Sugar Hill, you could tell he's been working on his power, hitting you with different shots, looking more powerful. But as far as that knockout power that Deontay Wilder has, that comes from speed, Tyson Fury doesn't have that. So they're both different boxers in that sense. But I would like to know your thoughts, on what do you think are some factors of why Deontay Wilder lost the Trilogy fight. Do you think him bulking up was any of the problem? And do you think Malik Scott holds any of the blame for letting Deontay bulk up as his trainer? He was supposed to tell him, just because you come in the ring looking like a big destroyer, when that comes to that boxing, it's a whole different world up in there. Like, when you can't move and somebody can move, boxing is about moving. It's about pivots and steps and ducking and dodging. So you can't be some big muscle-bound man in the ring. You ain't never seen a big old muscle-bound boxer in the ring. A boxer will whoop a big old muscle man any day of the week in that ring, because you're limited to do certain things. Of course, a big old muscle-bound man on the street might rush the boxer and get him to the ground or somehow. But when it comes to just standing up and you got rules, of course the boxer gonna beat you 10 out of 10 times. Bruce Sheldon was a kind of a big boxer. I don't know if you guys know Bruce Sheldon. You can look him up. So Mike Tyson didn't even train with weights. Tyson did calisthenics. So like push-ups. Tyson's had a different build. So if you look at Evander Holyfield and look at Mike Tyson's build. So Tyson was strong. Tyson would do 2,500 push-ups. And so, just imagine doing 2,500 push-ups. So some people can't do 25. But I would like to know your thoughts on the Trilogy. And I did a video previously, but I just felt I needed to touch in on factors, not on why Deontay Wilder lost. I just think some factors of why he got beat the way he did was added in there. And Malik Scott, to me, as a trainer, if you let me train Deontay Wilder, and I knew, you're not trying to match your weight. Evander Holyfield fought George Foreman. So George Foreman I forgot how much exactly he weighed, but it was a big weight difference. So that was like the same thing. So Evander Holyfield, you have to be strong-willed and strong-minded to get through these things. But leave your thoughts and your comments on what you think, and I'm out.